Alright, good afternoon class. This is your posting for May 11th. So we're going to be looking at lesson 3 today, solving equations with rational coefficients. And just remember, rational coefficients, excuse me, are fractions. So we're going to be looking at how to solve one-step equations with fractions. So when we start off with your notes, we're going to be looking at social networks. So 3/4 of the students in Alaya's class belong to a social network. There are 15 students in her class that belong to a social network. So let's create a bar diagram and shade in 3/4. Okay, so go ahead and fill this in, and hopefully you filled in the first 3 bars, and that's going to represent 15. That's going to represent the number of students on the social network. Okay, so this is essentially saying that 15 out of the total class equals 0.75. That's what this is saying. Okay. So we go down here, label 15 along the bottom to show the amount of the bar that represents 15 students. So we're going to put a little 15 in that box. Now when we get down here, based on the diagram, circle the equation that can be used to find C. Okay, so if we know that 15 are on the social network, we're not sure of the total, but we kind of have an idea, and we have to come up with an equation. Okay, so we know that 0.75 of the total class is 15%, or are on the social network. Okay, so let's go down here. Let's see what these options are. So if we have 15, C equals 3/4. So that means if we multiply 15 times the total number of the classmates, we're going to get 3/4. Okay, this one here. Now we're going to multiply here. It says if we multiply the total in the class by a percentage, then we'll get the number that represents that percentage. Seems pretty good. And then this last one is if we go 4 times the total number in the class equals 15. Okay, now think about, is the total number of the students in the class going to be greater than or less than 15? Well, it's going to be greater than, right? The total number in the class has to be greater than 15. So if we multiplied it by 4, we can't get 15. That doesn't make sense. Okay, and then here if we go 15 times, let's say 16, we're never going to get 3/4. So it has to be the middle one. It has to be the 0.75C equals 15. It has to be that one. Now how would you go about to solve this? Maybe you have an idea. For this, you will just divide by 7.5. Okay, so when we do that, I guess I should have put both sides. So when we do that, we're going to get this. We're going to get 0.75C equals 15, and we're going to divide both sides by 0.75. Just like that. Okay, and then 15 divided by 0.75 is 20. So we know that there's 20 students in her class, okay? And we found that out by taking the total number of students in her class, multiplying it by the decimal that represents the people on social media, and then that's how we got what was given to us, or the number on social media. Okay, so turn the page. So if we go through here, same thing, 0.25n. How are we going to solve this one? Well, they just divide by the decimal, right? No different here as multiplying by 1 step. So here, complete these 3 on your own, please. Pause it and go through them, and I'm going to put those solutions up here. Alright, hopefully you paused it. Here, I'm just going to divide both sides by 0.8. 0.8. 6.4 divided by 0.8 is 8. So I know m equals 8, just like that. For the next one, negative 2.8 p equals 4.2. I'm going to divide both sides by negative 2.8, just like that. Whoops, negative 2.8. 4.2 divided by 2.8 is p equals 1.5. 1.5. And then for the last one, I'm going to divide by negative 4.7. Negative 4.7. Negative 10.81 divided by negative 4.7 is 2.3. So for K, I got 2.3. So if it's in a decimal form, very similar to what we were doing previously, just divide by the coefficient that's in front of it, okay? And then here, J as coach agreed to buy ice cream for all of the team members. Ice cream cones are $2.40 each. Write and solve an equation to find how many cones the coach can buy with $30. So if he only has $30 to spend, you would have to divide, right? But we know if we go 2.4 times the total number that he can purchase, he can't go over $30. This is all the money he has. So when he multiplies it out, he gets n equals 12.5. Okay. Now 12.5, you can't get a half an ice cream cone, so that's why 12.5 went down to just 12. And that's what they have here. Okay. So try D on your own. Try D on your own. Pause it and try it on your own. All right, for letter D, it says suppose the ice cream cone costs $2.80 each. How many ice cream cones could the coach buy for $42? Now for this one, you should have set it up 2.8 times your x times the variable equals 42, because that's the most that he can spend, because that's all the money he has. And then to solve, you just divide by 2.8. Just like that. 42 divided by 2.8 is 15. So he can get 15 ice cream cones. So hopefully he doesn't have more than that on the team. And that's what you should have got for D. Alright, now we're going to be looking at fractions. So now these ones are a little bit different. But as long as you can remember how to do your keep, change, flip. Because remember, when we're looking at fractions, if we have 1/2 divided by 3/4, that's your keep, change, flip. So that's the same as equals 1/2 times 4/3. And then you can multiply right across. Okay? So, and then when you do that, 1 times 4 is a 4 on top, 2 times 3 is 6. Okay? So as long as you remember keep, change, flip, you're going to pretty much just do one of the steps in this one. You're just going to do the flip. Okay? So right here it says solve 3/4x equals 12/20. Well, we want to get rid of that 3/4x. We want to get rid of it. Okay? So if we have 3/4x equals 12/20, the way that we can get rid of this fraction, we want to get it to a 1. So we're going to multiply it by something called the reciprocal. Excuse me. So this 3/4, I'm going to multiply by I'm just going to flip it. So I'm going to find the coefficient. There's my x. I'm going to flip whatever's in front of it and multiply both sides by it. Like that. Okay? And then when I do that, these 4's go away because of cross canceling. Those 3's go away, and I'm left with just an x on the left. And then here I can just multiply across. 12 times 4, that's going to be 48. Over 20 times 3 is 60. And if you can, always try to reduce. 48 over 60, I know 2 will go into both of those. 24 over 30. 2 will go into it again. 6 over 15. Okay. Oh. 4/5. What? 4. Oh, not. Yeah. 4/5. My apologies. 6 goes into both of those. I don't know. I was thinking 2, and then I got confused. But it's all right here. Okay. So, and if you have a negative, you're going to want to multiply. Keep the negative with it. Okay. So down here, I'm going to go through these 3 with you. Okay. So right here, I have 1/2 x equals 8. All right. So on this one, I'm going to multiply both sides by 2/1. So then those 2's cancel, the ones on the left side, and I'm left with an x. And then what's 8 times 2? 16. Done. Just like that. All right, for the next one, I'm going to multiply both sides by the reciprocal of negative 3 over 4. Make sure the negative stays with it. Okay, so now I'm going to multiply both sides by negative 4 over 3. So then these cancel. I'm left with an x. And remember that 9 is the same as 9 over 1. And you're going to multiply right across. So 9 times negative 4 is a negative 36. 1 times 3 is 3. Negative 36 divided by 3 is a 12. Okay? And then for the last one, hopefully you have a calculator. You can use calculators on these. I'm going to multiply both sides by negative 8 over 7. Okay? Negative 8 over 7. Now, cross canceling. Hopefully you went over that last year. You should have. Now, you can't just multiply across and do your division, but maybe you recognize 21 and 7. You see how they're across from each other? So that means we can cross cancel. So that means that we're going to, how many times does 7 go into 7? Once. How many times does 7 go into 21? 3. Okay, 8 and 64. 8 goes into 8 once. 8 goes into 64 8 times. So then we're left with 3 times 1 is 3. 8 times 1 is 8. 3 over 8. And they're both negative, so it's going to be a positive 3 over 8. Okay. Now this will take some practice. Just remember you're going to multiply by the reciprocal of the coefficient. Alright, so try these. Please pause and try these 3 on your own. Alright, I'm going to go through these really quick. So I'm just going to go through these first 3. Okay. So for the first one, whoops, you should have divided both sides by 1 over 1.6. 1.6. So 3.2 divided by 1.6 is 2. So I get k equals 2. Just like that. For number 2, I'm going to divide both sides by negative 2.5. Negative 2.5. Okay. 20.5 divided by negative 2.5 is negative 8.2. That's what you should have for number 2. And for number 3, find my variable. Now this time my variable is on the right side. So that means I'm going to have to multiply both sides by negative 18 over 5. I have to multiply by the reciprocal of what the coefficient. The coefficient's always in front of the variable. Okay, so that means I'm going to multiply this side. So I'm going to get something that looks like this. Negative 18 over 5 times negative 1/2 equals h. Okay, and then I can multiply it right across. Negative 18 times negative 1 is a positive 18. 5 times 2 is 10. So I get 18 over 10 equals h. Okay, hopefully that's what you got. Alright, so for your homework, complete the front. We'll go through the front of this, and then we'll go over a little bit more of that tomorrow's Zoom meeting. Invitations will be going out later today. Okay, so check out this video, and then tomorrow we'll have a follow-up Zoom meeting. Thank you much. Have a good day.